Я думаю, у нас все ровненько, ребят. Чё, у нас тут персонажи? Блин, я не знаю, слишком они уж анимешные. Очень анимешные персонажи. А вообще, вы в мобилку играли? Играли хотя бы раз? Блин, я, наверное, даже сейчас скачаюсь. Чё? Мне даже интересно скачать. Мне как раз телефон позволяет. Так, сейчас. Дайте мне скачать. Хотя бы пройду ознакомление.
Is that freshly forged aimed towards my face or somewhere else? Because if I get hit by one full set,
сколько она весит-то? Нифига, она весит 400 мегабайт. 1 миллион отзывов, то есть.
So you're gonna be flat-faced because you're Rome where you got punched in the face with all this. Anyway. But I mean, this was a completely just dominant performance by Nepal here. I mean, the gold grab, it took a little bit to kind of get going. You're kind of see this time and time again where they're happy to kind of extend the game as long as they're not losing early game. They're finding ways to kind of accelerate.
Вроде бы ок.
It felt like everything was under the control of Team Nepal.
Надо еще посмотреть.
They know that, okay, let's equalize out the early game.
Потому что тут все жалуются на то, что в России Honor of Kings очень плохо обновляется. Я не знаю, почему это так. Я думаю, что окей, я думаю, что норм.
Pick up the mid tower, that's where we gain access towards the enemy jungle where Suyo gets those beautiful raging seas.
Так, пока пусть игра раскачивается.
It just seems like Nepal is built around a tipping point. Correct. Because once that moment happens, everything crumbles. Right? It's like the domino effect. I love it, right? Because they were completely pushed back, and then all of a sudden, Kyrgyzstan, they were like stuck in their fountain. They were dead. They had the death timers or whatever, and they were kind of just hidden back, and they had no answers because Nepal, from that moment on, it was completely theirs.
All right. I worry that these stats will work for Team Nepal for this game, but for the next game, I don't know because it kind of feels that okay, they want.
Так, нам показывают повтор. Блин, а чем она отличается? Офигеть, она же очень похожа на ту игру, которую я до этого комментировал. Офигеть. Один в один буквально. Ну ладно, в целом тут зарубы мощные такие же. Какая же тяжелая мобилка. Вот смотришь, какая же она тяжелая. Кстати, Непал очень плотно играют. Смотри, как они зажимают в мапе. Типа 9-я минута, они уже по Т3 давят в топе. Просто давят еще, они еще и вместе бегают. Ловят их вдвоем. В тимфайте просто без шансов в тимфайте. В пятером их на 10-й минуте уже просто зажали их. Ну тут прям разнос, Там и иммун не спас его. Заруба мощный. Что прям, не знаю, Киргизстан прям плохо на самом деле файтится. Прям очень файтится. Их прям без шансов сносит. Прям вообще без шансов сносит.
Yeah, everybody's sticking together. I mean, but in the end of the day, Swastik is going to be your MVP with a
Нифига себе, ты MVP. Хорош. Монстр. 804 КДА. Damage taken. Damage общий. Total gold. Задрот, короче, задрот. Я так понимаю, по позиции... Он мидерный, хотя навряд ли мидер. Интересно его роль узнать. Какой вообще призовой? Тут есть призовой?
804, 20% damage dealt, 17% damage taken with a total of almost 26%. So you know for a fact he's been sweeping the goal and delivering when he's needed.
A lot of the teams need a great jungle, right? I think that just the amount of impact that he had throughout the entire game. When the team fights were not happening until you saw
Какой тут призовой? Тут еще и этот есть. Какой призовой? А, призовых нет, кстати. Это просто азиатские игры, получается. И первый проходит, получается, куда? Арену Valor проходит, получается. Классно.
to
Location
chase down
Aichi.
whoever that target is and finish up the job.
Доха 20-30, Ганчжоу 20-22. Нифига себе, это что за... Офигеть. Это реально азиатские игры, офигеть. Офигеть. Есть тимы из Казахстана. Сборная Казахстана сегодня будет играть. Вот меня просили сегодня их матч посмотреть. Вот, мы будем ждать их матч. Вот, думаю, именно прям full team, бро, навряд ли full тимы будут. Но как сборная тоже есть, да, потому что я помню, что у нас КЦФ выпускал информацию про то, что сборная Казахстана будет играть по хоку. Они будут играть. Так, что, у меня игра скачалась? Так, сейчас, секунду. Надо будет зарегаться. Так, мне нужно проверить. Ими. На квадратном телефоне играть очень удобно, ребята. Если что, у меня, короче, Galaxy Fold, видели? Раскладушка телефон. Выберите героя и начните тур по теснению. Так, разрушитель земли.
And with that dominant victory, here we are, Team Nepal. Congratulations, 2-0. You guys had great map positioning.
Описание у героев, конечно, прикол.
You were MVP in game
Ну,
number
про
1.
хоккей я тоже сначала думал, что хоккей, бро, но... К счастью, это не хоккей, брат. Так, о, нифига себе графончик. Прикольненький. Для телефона вообще идеалочка. Кажется, ее можно еще поднять. Ну, Monkey King тут есть. Левое управляет движение, правая атака.
It's our first time winning on the stage like this, so we're just happy. Like we didn't say anything. Like we just said, yeah, we won, like that.
And I'm so glad that you won. Now with that level
Ба,
of
какой у тебя любимый
dominance,
исполнитель?
how would you ensure that you can repeat that same performance all throughout the series, all
Любимый
throughout the day
исполнитель?
and the week?
Yeah, we'll just
Блин, подумать.
streams more, we'll just practice more, and yeah, we'll try to like maintain the same level of consistency throughout the tournament.
And for sure,
Надо подумать.
everybody from Nepal is watching you right now. Really happy with that. What would you like to say to them and to everybody watching?
Yeah, thank you to everyone who is like watching and supporting us, and like keep supporting us. Yeah, thank you.
Наверное, в последнее время, да я по-разному, каждый раз по-разному, знаешь. Вообще, типа, и раньше была, типа, Ариана, условно, да? Сейчас, типа, Ариана мне не нравится. Типа, вырос, фигня полная, типа, ее музыки. Чисто так можно ритм послушать, приятно, и все. Вот, потом... Асха Принц прикольный, типа, наш алматинский, потом... Асха Принц хорошо записывает. Я думаю, Асха Принц.
For a long time. Hence you can see like in the gameplay itself, very strategic 5-man movements and the way they move around the map.
Ох, нифига себе. Извиняюсь, ребят, за Зиову. Тут у нас капец. Я вот играю Honor of Kings, заруба с ботами. Видели?
When they make a move, the other guys like kind of following up with them, and
С
there
ботами
never
там дерусь.
was any sort of doubt with that.
Боты меня снести не могут. Нет, нет.
Okay.
Find me at Sir Cloudcast, you know, like just find me and then find me for those like what do you call that, the Zhangfei tips, right? But let's save that. The next upcoming series will be between Syria and also Sri Lanka, which is also their debut matches. A lot of debut matches in day
Так,
1,
тут
day 2,
только на
day 3.
сапог бабки мне
We want to find out
хватает.
how both of these regions play in the
Что у нас матч следующий у нас будет Сирия против Шри-Ланки или кто это?
This one's going to be an interesting one too, right? I think that again, this is more of, you know, we kind of knew Nepal, some of those players. This one is a little bit less so in terms of like what is the information, what do they like to draft. So this should be a very evenly competitive match here.
Yes, and I do hope that we get to see the Tolia at some point. I might lose that coffee though, but I wouldn't mind having that Tolia on game.
Yeah, I mean, we want to see more variety coming in from the pick and bans itself so that we see like more potential drafts coming in for the later stages of the day, especially when we go into elimination matches. As we move on in towards the Asian Games qualifiers, you know for a fact that the games are going to get even more sweaty.
Yeah, definitely so. I think
Так,
that we've
ладно.
seen them. It's
Тут
been a
прям,
little bit, you know, a little bit of a feeling out
прям
process
тяжело
thus
что-либо
far,
сделать.
especially with the
Ну
first
что, ну
two
пока
series,
смотрим.
but,
Пока
you know,
смотрим,
I think
ребят.
through that all,
Ждем
they've been
следующего
very
матча.
successful
Там
on
пока ребята
IQ,
рассядутся.
maybe 2026.
Пока ребята
They
тут
gave
у нас
Esports
спонсоров
defense
своих
the honor of
прорекламируют,
Qualifier.
да.
The phones have
То,
been
что это
great.
официальный
Thank
их
you
там
so much for
партнер.
supplying those as we've
Мы
been
с вами
seeing
почили.
Esports doing, you know, all the players have been enjoying
Хочется
it
уже
out
за
there.
игрой
Yeah,
посмотреть,
like we
конечно,
talked about
непосредственно.
120 FPS, who
Вот.
doesn't enjoy 120
Глянуть, скажем так,
highest
да.
graphic quality settings here?
Хочется
And I
бы.
personally own an IQ, so
Так, сейчас,
it's pretty good.
короче, ребят, на
It's
минуту
heat,
буквально
and
отойду.
players are using
Прям
IQ
умыться
50R if
жестко,
you're
жестко
interested
натомся,
in the
ребят.
phone itself.
Так,
So
давайте
do
пока
check it out if you're
подробно,
interested in a
чтобы
strong gaming phone.
все
But boys,
возить.
lads, I think that we
У меня,
need a
короче,
bit
у
of a
друга
small
лучшего
break
жена
as the
кореянка.
tournament
Я никогда в
itself
Китае
to
был, он
actually prepare for
что
the
кто-то
upcoming
говорил.
series between Syria and
Не
Sri
говорит,
Lanka.
переводи.
So let's throw it to a short break before we come back with more Honor of Kings action in the Asian Games qualifiers.
Contestants fight for the honor of their regions while we cheer them on from the stands. This is a challenge, but it is also an opportunity. The tide is turned. And we pulled it off together. We share the same voice. This is a challenge, but it is also an opportunity.
Это что, Турик? Ребят, это максимально профессиональный турнир, ребят. Максимально профессиональный турнир. У нас тут играют азиатские игры, ребят. Азиатские игры. Начало через 9 минут. Будем смотреть, как сумаилы будут играть против пастилов. Сумаил или пастил, ребят? В этот раз кто победит? А, подождите, тут у нас как Киргизстан уже все. А где матчи Казахстана? Лол, они прошли? Как вообще чекнуть сеточку? Подождите, сеточку глянем. Сетку. Qualifier. Сейчас 2. Но они, у них фуллоба, я так понимаю, да? Казахстан что? Алинур, Скай. Казахстан, получается, когда у них матчи был? 0-0-0. 14 июня, получается. А, завтра будет матч. Это еще не наша сетка, они с Вьетнамом сетки. Так, надо чекнуть. Чекнуть за расписание. Так, Дейва. Вот так вот. Это у нас завтра, получается, Индия, Казахстан будут играть. А, вот оно что. Ну, долго будет, еще 8 дней будет идти квала, получается. Интересно, интересно. Смотрим, смотрим. О, реклама мобилы. Осуждаю, это не мобла. Это Honor of Kings.
Here is the 2026 Asian Games Esports Qualifiers Honor of Kings format.
Что-то жестче дота или Honor of Kings, конечно, братан, ты чё? Это же как сравнить, братан, дерево с листочком, с лепесточком, братан. Это как сравнить, я не знаю. Что-нибудь даже с чем-нибудь, братанчик. Реально, бро, реально. Бро, ну как ты можешь мобилку сравнивать с компьютерной игрой, бро? Это мобильная игра, это компьютерная игра. Ну смотрим, ладно, смотрим. Я думаю, сегодня у нас сетка будет мощная. Игры будут супер мощными. Вот. Да, бро, это мобильная игра. Я честно, думал, Honor of Kings это изначально это компьютерная игра. А это, оказывается, мобильная игра. Что, они сегодня начали же играть, да? Они с 9 утра играют, лол. I'm so sorry, excuse me. Я вообще с Казахстана, почему я киргизстанский матч должен был смотреть? Ну ладно. Сейчас вообще будем смотреть Сирию против Шри-Ланки. Хотя флаги положу. Кстати, что значит 3 звезды во флаге Сирии, мне интересно. Надо было прогуглить. Изначальный смысл звезды символизировали 3 главных региона: Дамаск, Алеппо и Дейр-эз-Зор. Нормально. 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 Так, ну тут показ. О, это инвокер, что ли? Это инвокер. Вот, смотри, как он бегает. Ну, кстати, красивый реально. Это что он там кидает? Бласти покинул? О, нифига, это что? Это какой-то кулснап, я не знаю. MVP, your team's MVP. Бах, ты коучишь? Да, я, бро, коуч. Могу прямо сейчас закоучить, брат. Параллельно. В чем разница между Хок и МЛБ? В графике карты как Wild Rift, а 3 скилла, а 3 скилла как в МЛБ. Бро, честно, я не знаю, в чем разница, я даже сравнивать не хочу, брат. Для меня разницы никакой. Лично для меня, брат. Если докапываться, искать, там, играть, я тебе честно скажу, я не играл ни в то и ни в другое, поэтому я не могу тебе ответить. Ну, будто бы МЛБ я играл, она менее динамичная, ну, она быстрее, как будто бы, ну, блин, ладно, я не хочу это сравнивать, на самом деле. Ну, не будем сравнивать, ребят, не будем. О, это этот Сайвел, что ли? А что Сайвел тут делает? Че, он белый перекрасился? Какие-то вообще лютые происходят эти. Просто смотрим рекламу. Я думаю, нормально, ребят. Я думаю, всем нормально, ребят, смотреть рекламу. Вы не против, да? Потому что я не против. В МЛБ башня бы за 5 ударов убила любого. А, ну, кстати, да, там башня больно бьет. Тут я хз, но тут он вроде танчил, там тут чуть ли не фонтан, или это Т3 нижняя была. Я казалось, что это фонтан был. Да уж, о, нифига себе, тут можно мизануть сейчас. А ну хотя да, легко же. Так, может что-то заказать, похавать, я не знаю. Так. Что-то ничего нету, по идее. С доставки. Эх, проиграли мы. Проиграли. Мне бы хотя какое-нибудь яблоко заживать, что ли. Я сейчас умру иначе. В это я не хочу убирать. Как мне стримить? Может без вебки стримить? Реально. Давайте без вебки постримлю, реально. Если я там усну, ребят, не обессудьте, ладно? Потому что мне нужно откомментить. Ну, по факту, кстати, сегодня откомментить. ББ башня всегда бьет чистым уроном, каждый последующий удар увеличивается в урон в процентах, а фонтан нейтрон шотает сразу. Офигеть. Ну это да. Интересно, как туда забежать можно целенаправленно, точнее, ГБЖ. Как туда можно закинуть кого-то. Ну, на самом деле, насчет башни очень интересно такое, знаешь, предположение. Ну, не предположение, а факт. Интересно, вот как в Honor of Kings, Kingdoms, хотел сказать. Honor of Kings, как...
Welcome back to the 2026 Asian Games
Welcome back.
Qualifiers for Honor of Kings. This is day one. My name is Sagi here, and we are on our way
Мое
to the third match
имя
of the day
Саки,
between
это
Syria
какой-то
and
день у
also
нас
Sri
нашей
Lanka here. And we
квалификации.
do have
Всем
Holler on the
привет.
broadcast and a new face joining us towards this show. It will be none other than drumroll.
Hello.
Adam Spartak. Welcome to the broadcast, buddy.
Thank you. I'm very nervous, but very excited to be here amongst you guys, the legends.
I'm just happy you're on board as well. I think that we're gonna have a great time. I think that, you know, look, going into this one, there was a lot of expectations from this Asia Game qualifier, though. But like, what are your feelings from this one? I mean, 20 teams. It's got to be a little bit of pressure for them, right?
Yeah, for sure. I feel it's gonna be very refreshing because we're gonna be doing not global bans, so the hero picks are gonna be very refreshing. It might look repetitive, but no, because it's very out in the open, and we don't know what are the strengths of each players for every team.
Just like what I keep repeating in this entire tournament, right? It's like the identity of different regions, some pocket picks, some difference in terms of the meta. Those are definitely going to be serving as a power coming in for different regions, especially in the BO3 setup.
Yeah, and that's the biggest piece. I mean, Adam Spartak, you were kind of talking about this, about how things are much quicker, right? The games, like the best of threes, it's very different, right? In terms of the drafts. I mean, watching this one, is this something that you would rather play, or would you rather have global ban pick?
I would rather play this one because we've been doing global ban pick for quite a while now, right? So to me, again, this is quite refreshing, and it leaves a lot of unlimited possibilities for everyone to do, and I feel like it's gonna be very interesting. I will play this.
Awesome.
It's like a revisit back to 2024 before the implementation of the global ban pick here. So we're taking a trip down to memory lane itself, and right now we have like Syria and Sri Lanka coming in as our third match. But if you guys are into new heroes coming in towards Heroes Gorge or Honor of Kings on June 17, a new hero, Zavara, and the new AOV hero squad. We have Florian, Annette, and also Florentino. These four heroes will arrive in the Gorge, meeting you on June 17.
I'm actually super excited about that, right? I mean, this has been the best part. When those new heroes are available, I mean, yeah, sometimes they ruin, I ruin my rank games, usually when they're on my team. They're like amazing when they're on the opposing teams, but it's a lot more fun. It makes things way more dynamic.
I'm excited. I'm excited because I hear a lot about Florentino, about the skill sets that he can do. It's almost similar to Charlotte in some ways. And
You
I
are a
think
Charlotte
that,
main.
yeah, and I'm a Charlotte main, and I think that it's gonna be a very interesting hero to learn and also to execute very well in future tournaments.
And I heard that Florentino is actually one of the more difficult hero, and the difficulty is actually off the roof. And I can't wait to see once they get introduced. Some of these players will definitely pick it up and have like fantastic moments. Yeah, but that's enough about the official server heroes here. We are here for the Asian Games qualifiers, and especially the highlight is on match 3, Syria and Sri Lanka here. Talk to me a bit about this specific matchup.
I think that both of these squads are not as prominent. They haven't had as much airtime, so to speak. So a lot of the data that we've seen is kind of like hidden in the shadows a bit. But at the same time, it's a huge advantage for both of them because they're dark horses. Like, we don't know exactly what they like to pick yet. So it could be a very interesting match here.
It's not just that they don't know each other at this point. Also, other teams will be watching and they will try to learn as much as they can from these two teams. And I believe that it's going to be a good one. We're going to learn a lot from them.
Yeah, interesting facts, right? We will only find out in the gorge itself. So without further ado, let's invite both teams towards the stage to showcase us what they have prepared for this upcoming matchup. Let's welcome Syria and Sri Lanka.
Так, все, у нас предоставляет игроков, ребят. Игра Honor of Kings, ребят. Игра мобилка. Под фонтан иногда залетаешь не специально, уезжаешь спелл во врага, который вспышкой перемещается на свой фонтан, и тут даже в неуязвимость. Да, нормально, нормально. У персонажа Люнакс. Светлая ульта при использовании превращается в святую. Ну это прикольно, типа.
Representing their region with determination and pride, they enter the arena with a bold and aggressive identity. Strives in chaos, turning quick decision-making and non-stop aggression into their greatest strength. Please welcome the Syrian Arab Republic!
Nothing to lose, everything to prove. They may be new to the spotlight. Their adaptability, courage, and fearless spirit can deliver a surprise. Make some noise for Sri Lanka!
And there you have it. For match 3 of today, it's between Syria and also Sri Lanka here. With limited information that we are given between these two matchups here, the unexpected element is what I'm looking for in this upcoming 5v5.
Actually, that's the biggest piece, right? I think that going into this one, it opens up so many different doors, and it's going to be exciting to see what these teams have to bring.
And here we have Syria with Bashar, Ammar, Abdul Aziz, Ali, and Ibrahim on the line. These are the players that will be representing their region, and I believe that we're gonna have a very good one because we don't have any data on them. Also, that means that they're gonna be giving us a lot of surprises.
From what we know with the available limited data here, it seems that they are a team that really wants to play in proactive engagements and create momentum through aggressive jungle pressure here. So a lot of pressure will lie on towards Syria's very own Ammar to find for those big highlight moments.
It's all about those highlight moments, setting themselves up for those great team fights. I mean, it could be one of those things where, like, yeah, they haven't seen too much time on terms of the Honor of Kings esports scene, but if they've been playing together, and you kind of saw that with the success of the last one, Nepal, they did very well. But here we go with Sri Lanka, Nisandra, Tharusha, Janith, Anjana, and of course, Emaka here, rounding up this one. Sri Lanka, there's going to be a lot of pressure on these two teams because, again, once you played that first game, now your draft hand has essentially been shown.
Right, first match is always important, right? Because they really want to set the stage, set their name up, and we know that they're going to be doing very, very well. Also, coming from different regions, they have different cultures. Definitely will be affecting their gameplay, the way they think, the way they coach are gonna be giving them heroes, the way they're gonna be drafted. It's gonna be an exciting one.
Exactly right, and we keep talking about the same exact thing. You land on the correct foot in a single round robin setting, it pushes you one step closer to that first, second place finish that directly sends you into the main event. Because if you can go to the main event, why do you want to go to the last chance stage? Because last chance stage is not that you're third place, you automatically qualify.
True.
You have to battle through 2 other sets of BO3, single elimination. Only you can make it out of the 4 teams available.
Tiring. And if you're looking at the rest of the squads, this is Group D, and I was saying this earlier today, that this is going to be the strongest group, right? And so going in, when you're potentially going up against Hong Kong, China, Singapore, as well as South Korea, you're going to have a hard time, right? So these two, dare I say, it's almost like a must win because the other teams in the group are so very strong.
True. So we can say that this is one of their only few chances for them to try their best to get some points and to secure a higher place and standing inside the group.
Correct. And it's just like what Holler said, right? It's like if you lose out this game, your chance gets diminished heavily because it's just because that your group mates, I mean, they're not your mates, they're your like opponents.
Yeah.
They're just more experienced and well competitive, geared up compared towards you. So it puts you on a competitive disadvantage here. But talking about advantage here, I think this can be earned through drafting itself here. So for Sri Lanka, we do see Dolia and also the Arlie being locked away as their first 2 bans, and Syria has chose the Maestro Nui and Liang that will be locked away for selection here. So what will be the first pick here coming in from Sri Lanka?
We're going to have to find out. I mean, I think going into this one, when you're looking at these 2 teams in a must-win situation, it's all about pressure, right? Getting yourselves in a prime position where when you have that first victory, it's going to feel great. But if you're on the losing end of this one, you're looking on the bottom of the group, looking up, it's going to be almost insurmountable in that sense.
I agree, and Sri Lanka actually picked Lapu-Lapu first, but the response coming from Syria is by taking Zhang Fei and Chano. We've seen a lot of Zhang Feis today, and a lot of them really revolves around the gameplay of this Zhang Fei because of this S-tier ultimate coming from him, and I do feel like we are bringing back to our previous times where Zhang Fei has been picked quite a lot, and the win rate goes up all the way up to 70% even.
Yeah, it's a very prized pick, especially in this specific patch itself. You are given the privilege to either peel for your teammates with the Unbridled Outburst, the early game shielding coming in for that strong early 2v2, and in towards the mid game here. Instead of only playing protective, you can also go for those aggressive Unbridled Outbursts, which is the Zhang Fei ultimate, to look for that big play to get that gold lead for your team.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about the Zhang Fei is that Sir Cloud mains him, right? Everything else about this guy's kit is so good. He provides so much in terms of the team fight, everything that you want. He is such a good hero.
Yeah, but he does have to get his stacks first, which is called Madness, before he can use the Unbridled Outburst. But we do know he's a very good hero. Also, having Atta in Sri Lanka, I believe Syria have to be very careful. They really have to have a hero that really uses Doomsday to really get all this HP out.
I think that's a good point, right? Especially like Doomsday has been a staple item coming in for the farm laners build. Even if you're Chano, for example, that goes for the crit build, oftentimes you will go towards the Doomsday after your Daybreaker to really cut down these big tanks here. And for Sri Lanka, they lock in the Direnjie and also the Atta here. So their first 3 picks are already very early to mid-game centric. So they need to find a way to slow down the farming tempo here coming in from Syria's farm lane, which is the Chano.
One thing we've seen today is just like the junglers are usually kind of like the Attas, kind of, you know, just kind of controlling like the team fights, being like more the tankier style. And I know that some of the high-flying, the mobility, aggressive junglers haven't really been taken as of yet. I can't wait till we do see that because we have yet to see that style.
I agree. Maybe everyone's still being conservative and trying not to go too aggressive right now. But it seems like Syria is trying to answer the Doomsday question with Fateh. Having Fateh with his ultimate, he's definitely going to be able to really cut HP from Atta. But they do have Byron here. So most likely, Atta's going to be playing jungle?
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the Atta jungle here. A much more favorable role coming in from Sri Lanka here. Tarusha will be getting on hands on the Atta here. But I want to point out a bit on Sri Lanka's draft here. That is an all for nothing early to mid game draft. There's no late game hero coming in from Sri Lanka. If they fail the early game, that's gonna be super punishing. But simultaneously, if they win the early game, they can steamroll this game within the 10-minute mark.
I mean, that's the goal, right? That's the piece. It's all about the early game. I think that, you know, most of the teams that have struggled are looking for that mid to late game, but they're not able to stabilize the early game. So they really struggle and they kind of suffer for that. They have not had a good time.
I agree. With all these hero picks, what do you think, Sagi? I think it's going to be great.
Oh, I think it's pretty 50-50 coming in for both squads. It comes down to whether or not that Sri Lanka is able to hold down the early game that we talk about here. But let's save the chit-chat. Let's bring it over to the gorge and hand the sound over to the casters here. Both of you, take it away.
Thank you so much, Sagi. As we go into this one, game number 1, again, it's all about tempo. It's all about this, you know, making a statement, right? Especially in Group D, this is the one, dare I say, it's a must-win for both of these guys.
I agree. It all depends on how they do these early game rotations amongst them. And it seems like Syria is also quite used to doing this goal sharing technique. This rotation is being done by Ibrahim and Abdul Aziz together. So it seems like they do know how to make good use of this goal sharing technique.
It's all about the value, but it looks like Amaka is going to just try to get back to safety. The burst, the charge back was perfect for him. He does stay alive.
Yeah, and he's going to be doing a couple rotations back towards mid lane, and I think Abdulaziz is going to have his time to clear mid lane together with his jungle, which is very, very important. And also, knowing that they do have Durenzi right here, it's going to be quite a strong late game for Sri Lanka.
Look at how Syria went all the way from the bottom lane. They put pressure on, but then they're like, wait, we need to go back to our farm. And they went all together to the Crimson. That is a long journey, right? They were not able to do that quickly, and it's kind of wasting a little bit of time just traveling.
I agree, and they always rotate together, which is very important in case something happens. The Jangpei is always there. Ibrahim is always ready to do something, but he still doesn't have his ultimate yet.
Yeah, the wind slash, but the ghost ship just shutting that one down. He, you know, if he was on my team, he would have locked me on the wrong side of that ghost ship. But the Chaos Cinder doing a little bit of work. Farusha will be fine though.
It's been quite a while since we last seen a Dune playing at jungle, and right now they're doing it with Amar, and it seems like Amar is quite comfortable doing this with the Unruly Blade and the Unyielding Might passive. It's gonna be a strong Dune.
Yeah, and he's going to be a problem, right?
Yeah.
I think the Dune, with the tanky style, he has so much control. He's able to take a punch. He does everything well. But one thing to kind of take note of is the fact that, like, Farusha and Amaka both have smite. So come those big neutrals, it might be a bit of a problem.
Yeah, and in fact, actually, if both of them buy these items, right? Jungle item, and we don't have Lapu-Lapu buying the roaming item just yet. As Joyu is the one who's buying the roaming item, so it's gonna be quite a different technique that they're going to try to pull off. But it makes sense. Joyu doesn't need items.
Yeah, doesn't need items, but it's still a situation where you're kind of like Amaka. He's like, I'm the jungler now. I will take over, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, maybe I don't trust you. Is that what it is?
Yeah, maybe. It's yeah. Well, we might learn a few things from Amaka. You will never know. But again, their gold situation right now, the economy is still quite okay. It's not too different. It's just 300 gold for Sri Lanka in front of Syria. And it all depends on how this Jangpei is going to do his ultimate after this.
Yeah, and they're sticking together, right? The
Yeah.
gold sharing is just used very effectively here. It's about that, you know, the wave clear, letting Amar get going, because he's going to be the guy that's sticking up front, but he is 1.1k behind Arusha, which is not a great spot for him.
I agree, but it seems like they might get a little bit sandwiched over here, but Emalka decided to pull back just a little bit, and it seems like they're trying to prepare for what's about to come, because Tyrant's going to be spawning in 10 seconds.
Yeah, this is going to be that big fight. Again, it's all about posturing, it's about fortifying, but they got to clear the wave. Like, once you have that initial push, Ghost Ship has been used. Something to take note of as the 4-minute Tyrant is going to be spawning here.
Oh, a very important item for Tarusha, Blazing Cape to cancel Dunes.
Oh, look, the Blazing Brilliance doing a little bit of work, and the pushback with the Umbrella Outburst, and that's going to be first strike. Syria doing very well, and now Imalka's on the side. I don't think he can continue on, but Amar with another wind slash, locking it down, and he's just going to take down Nisandra, who's just barely getting away. No!
The Unruly Blade's gonna be on point as they chase him down, but Tharusha wants revenge. He's fighting 1 versus 3, finding Amar. Does he have enough? And yes, he does.
Tharusha really putting that blazing cape to good use. Emalka had to pull back because his teammates have all went down, and I feel that they're on a good track. Both sides of the team can still try to pull off something after this. Look at how Tharusha really focused on Dune, because he knows Dune needs to be stopped with his unyielding might, that passive that really regenerates his HP with each basic attack. And the Tyrant has been ignored completely by both sides.
Just a great team fight by Syria.
Agreed.
Just the way that they were able to dissect things, stacking their stuns, using that umbrella outburst on top, ensuring that nobody's getting away and Ali's able to take them all down. Ibrahim really setting it up properly.
Yeah, and this is the second try to get the Tyrant, and let's see who's gonna get a smite. Tharusha making good use of the smite from his, and it looks like they are not really leading in gold too much. It's actually exactly the same, and Amar is gonna try to steal this.
He's gonna go back into his own jungle.
Yeah.
It was a smite battle, and that's always the one when you're looking at the junglers of who's gonna make that, killing blow, right? Who's able to take that away, get that smite off to ensure that you get it. And unfortunately for Amar, Tharusha's just got the one-up on this one.
Yeah, as for the Clash laners, we still haven't seen the Sanda coming, doing a rotation towards their team fights. Maybe his presence will help Sri Lanka a lot more after this, and it all depends on this usage of double smite coming from Sri Lanka.
Nisanda, on the other hand, this is one where you don't want to stray too far from your top lane, right? You know that Bashar is going to able to kind of split push, will take things away, right? And anytime you kind of like step away from your tower, you're at risk, so to speak.
Looking at the itemization, I like how committed Abdulaziz is to the support item, which is gonna give Imperil effect, which is the venomous stuff. It's good for every mid lane to always buy this. Even the Gunmo in the previous game actually bought it as the first item.
Nice twin slash here. Amalka, though, finding that now with that Raging Sea on the backside, but it looks like Amar's going to be picked off first. Amalka's going to be on next, and now Jonathan just trying to stay alive on the side. Ibrahim's not able to get on top of him. Tharusha is just so tanky, but Anjana finally gets taken down. Ibrahim looking to go in with that Stampede, the flash away. He runs into the wall, and it looks like he too will fall. Triple strike going the way of Tharusha.
This is actually a 5 versus 4 in this red buff area because Nisanda is actually busy up top. He managed to destroy the tier 1 tower, and that quite secured them like an extra goal for them. But again, let's look at how he's gonna get Fatih.
Yeah, he found Bashar. The smite is going to be used on him, and with those slashes, the ghost ship says, "Nay, where are you going, my friend?" Nisanda taking him down.
I like how committed he is trying to hide in that crash, and it actually worked out. He expected for Bashar to actually do this rotation towards him, and overall it's going to be trying to be taken by Sri Lanka. They do have that double smite, but they're trying to force the war first.
Yeah, Amar was thinking about it, but there were just too many. Just Sri Lanka, just doing a great job of understanding where the potential jump in can happen. And again, crisis averted, they take him out.
And they are trying to group up in the mid lane, trying to destroy this, the most important tower in the entire game. It looks like the Umbrella Outburst is not ready here, Howler.
Oh, nice little stun, but it's going to be fine. But the Raging Sea, 3-man, but under tower. Amalka needs to be a little bit careful. The one last shot finally taking him down. He was just sticking around a little too long.
He pulled it off quite well, although he did went down. But again, it's not bad. It's not bad. Byron went back up top. Nisanda's going to continue clearing their lanes. They do have this Vanguard still up on their lanes, so Syria really have to clear the wave as fast as they can before the towers goes down.
Yeah, but it's the highlight reel. Yeah, you got the 3-man stun with that Raging Sea, but you didn't get any sort of elimination on top of this. But Amar, not afraid. He's going to take a decent amount. He's doing a little bit of work in that sense, but he will fall just under tower. They get the revenge kill, the shutdown onto him, and Tharusha is going to be down as well. The flash away by Ali. Abdul is trying to run away. Ibrahim is just trying to cover the retreats, but now Jonathan is in a bad spot. Here come the reinforcements. Bashar on the side, but the Raging Sea uses a counter initiation. They find Bashar, and he will fall.
Wow, I thought Bashar was going to be able to do something over there, but imagine that. Imalka managed to stop him, and this Blazing Brilliance has been used, but they have to go back just to clear the minion, just to save the tier 1 tower. And with 500 gold in fight, I was expecting more goal difference at this point, but this is actually a very close game, Holler.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be close,
yeah.
Right? I think that this is one of those series where we're like, okay, both of these two teams evenly matched. We knew it was going to go down to just like who's making the mistakes in the end, but you're seeing exactly how Syria fighting back, finding the right moments to really get themselves back into this.
Yeah, that's not the first time Amar really went in when something important is coming up like this Tyrant. He's not going to risk his life this time. He's going to play much more safer.
Yeah, great ghost ship there, right? Just completely blocking it off. No chance for the steal. Darusha with another big neutral. These are the small wins that you're looking for that will really take you over that hump to pull this one off.
Yeah, we have to remember the ultimate from Darusha is very short cooldown reduction, but look at that. Is he going to use the Umbrella Outburst? Not yet. He's still saving it for the most important moment. He knows this is just a poking potential.
Yeah, Sir Cloud is on the side. He'd be like, no, Abram, hold it, not yet. We're going to wait for the Umbrella Outburst for the perfect moment. And Hibber was like, okay, that was very close, but yes, I will hold it in the end because you know that Sir Cloud is coaching him up.
We can never unsee Cloud's face on Zhang's face anymore. But we do see he's trying to start the Tyrant for his entire team. And we also know that Bashar is nearby to help them if they need him. But Amar is actually quite far. The only person with Smite is quite further away from the Tyrant.
Yeah, and to be honest, for me, I kind of like the Shadow Tyrants. I think it's a higher priority, at least for me, at the 10-minute mark. And it looks like Syria were gifted that one as the Overlord had been picking up. That's going to be pushing in the bottom lane. But I do think the damage buff, pretty key. Ibrahim, again, just playing with my heart, so to speak.
Right?
Like, playing very low health.
Right? He really saving his ultimate. But Amar, one more time, he's a bit caught up, but he still managed to survive using Unruly Blade to escape from that situation. They still have this Vanguard, the big one for them to handle, but it seems like they really have to pull back before the tower gets destroyed.
That was a nice win slash by Omar, but now Amaka on the flank goes for the return, but the bottom T2 looking to go down, the Raging Sea zoning them away. Sri Lanka, get what they wanted, which is of course the bottom T2, and they're putting pressure on the mid T2.
It's quite interesting and surprising on how Ibrahim is very disciplined with his ultimate. Yeah. He's really keeping his Umbrella Outburst for some reason. Maybe he wants that one moment that could delete the entire Sri Lankan team. But I think that it might be a bit too long.
It might be. And I'm kind of worried if Ibrahim might be like my ranked teammates where they save that ult for next game.
Yeah, that's even worse, huh? Let's see the itemization for Atta. He does have Blood Rage, Eye of the Phoenix, Blazing Cape, and also jungle item. Also, Emalka really building that tier 3 jungle item as well, and which is very interesting. Chart is also in his pocket, but Chano doesn't have Doomsday, but he's on the way though.
Yeah, on the way. The Unruly Blade on forward by Amar, not finding the right angle. Farouche is going to show up, throws out the ghost ship, locking down at least one angle of retreat, but Amar taking a decent amount. He will fall on Jano with just enough to burn him down, and now it's an all-out retreat by Syria. It doesn't look like they're going to get anything in return for Amar.
Uh-oh, the Umbrella Outburst is actually being wasted just now. It didn't hit anybody except Emalka, but Emalka was having this CC immunity for a while. So we do know that the Azure Golem is going to be stolen by a Sri Lankan team for sure because they're dominating the map. But it seems like Blazing Brilliance has been forced just to get the HP down just by a little bit.
He's very tanky though. Tharusha is going to be a bit of a problem. The sustain that he's got is just kind of unreal, right? So you think you have him, but he's able to kind of walk that one off, so to speak.
I agree. And again, with the Seven's Wrath, and it seems like Abdulaziz is going to do Insatiable Tomb after this, but the gold difference between Amar and Tarusa is actually 3,000 gold. And that's going to be giving a lot of impact towards the next walk.
And it's the worst one, right? Because this is the jungler, you know he's tankier, he's going to do more damage.
True.
He is such a problem. If anything, Syria need to kind of avoid Tharusha in these team fights.
And the passive inside Atta, right? His HP doesn't actually goes black, but it actually goes gray, so he can actually recover his HP again without any problems, just by basic attacking with his first skill. Anything works as long as the gray HP is still there.
You would kind of think that the Dune would be a tankier type, right?
Yeah.
But the Atta has just been outscaling. He's had such a great game, and he's just been this, like, you know, this thorn in the side of Syria, you know, in game one.
I actually wish Bashar would buy Doomsday a little bit earlier just to counter this Atta, but it seems like Bashar is not going there just yet. Usually in most of the item presets, Doomsday comes quite late for a Fatih, and let's see how it goes.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's definitely going to need it at some point. But yeah, they're extending the game. This is probably one of the longest games we've seen thus far, right?
Is it my curse
today?
Huh? Is it because of me?
I think it's a blessing. It's not a curse.
Oh,
right?
okay.
We want a longer game.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sorry, wrong word. Yeah. But again, they send the Vanguard down at the bottom lane. So it seems like they want to focus on destroying the tier 3 tower at the bottom lane. And we want to see on how Ibrahim uses his Umbrella outburst again after this one.
Yeah, we're waiting, right?
Yeah.
I think that I'm expecting it to be like this massive 4-man, team fight winning one, but it's gonna be set up for him. He's holding it down. Now he's been mini stunned here. Now he uses it. He gets the 4-man stun. The Raging Sea in return. Bashar is getting so low with the Rusha taking him down. Imaka needs to be a little bit careful. Ali's on the side, just on the shot. He finds Imaka. He gets the pick off, but Amar is gonna be taken down as well. The hot streak going the way of Nisandra, and it looks like they're gonna be on the run, but they have slain the dragon. That is Darusha.
They have to be careful. Nisanda is still tanky. He can still tank the game, but no, he actually went in too early. The tier 3 tower gets him, and it seems like Ibrahim's gonna try to fend them away, and it's 2 versus 2 right now. 2,000 gold difference between the two teams.
That was very weird. You're thinking that Nisanda would be fine, but I mean, check it out. Like, break down this replay, Smart Hanger.
Yeah, we can see on how they started with Nisanda himself, and they actually managed to get the Atta down first. He was struck down quite quickly, but that's for the sake of his teammates, so that his teammates can deal a lot of damage by themselves, because the D-Ranger really needs a lot of protection. But here is when Sandra actually went into the tower without any minions.
Yeah, and with that man advantage, Syria were able to pick up that Tyrant. Something to take note of, right? This game is so back and forth. Like, Syria is really just like 1.4k away. That is like next to nothing at this stage.
I agree, and we know that they really have to keep up with the pressure, or else Syria might be able to do a comeback, because the goal difference, to be honest, Holder, it is getting thinner and thinner. I don't think Sri Lanka should, prolong this.
Yeah. I mean, the way that they're playing is they're allowing space. Like, when you're not being the troll under the bridge and letting them just walk into the river, they're just gonna walk up on you. They go for the Jonathan, they take him down. The Raging Sea used in return, but the mid T1 already down on the side. Sri Lanka right now are in a world of hurt as everything has crumbled in terms of this game. They've been pushed back. Now they're playing defensively here.
I agree. That's the first time Ibrahim actually used his ultimate aggressively instead of defensively, and they've actually managed to get Janet, which is honestly quite an important role over here. And Anjana just finished his Blood Rage, gonna be giving a lot of defense for him. Bashar is still far away down there, but they're still trying to get some damage in.
Yeah, Amar's on the side though, dealing with Arusha, but Amar needs to be careful. He's gonna Unruly Blade on back to safety. The Wind Slash is on. The Raging Sea finding Amar. He needs to be a little bit careful. He is so low, and Anjana is finally doing enough damage to flash away by Ali. He's looking to turn this around, but Nisanda, he's all by himself. The Arusha's like, hey, we gotta retreat on out of this one. Nisanda on the run, and somehow, no, but they're gonna take a Malka instead. Syria doing everything well, taking them down as well as the mid T2.
A very clean fight coming from Syria. It might have been a good comeback over here. We do know Jumpy still has his Unbridled Outburst. He just filled up his madness, and he's gonna try to force this wall or not. It seems like Bashar really needs to go back. Blazing Brilliance has been wasted just a little bit right here, but they're gonna be punished, Holler.
Yeah, they got the Storm Strike. They find Abdullah. He's gonna be picked off here. The Unbridled Outburst is now gonna be used just to push to the side. Nisanda just kind of out-tanking this one. Bashar with that Blood Rage. Nisanda, though, does go down eventually. The Stampede on. He's trying to go for Anjana. He's not able to find it, as well as Darusha, who somehow limped away.
Wow! Just by a sliver of health, very, very close to going down just now. But crucial team fight for him, 53% with all of that HP build coming from him. But this is what happened just now, and a great ultimate coming from Ibrahim trying to help his friends. But although Armar did actually went down without the help of his teammate, not enough help actually. But with that channel pre-hitting non-stop, they actually managed to do something.
Oh, here's the Ghost Ship. The Overlord is about a little under half. Amar just trying to find Darusha, but instead he decides to turn attention to the Overlord. The fights are all a little disjointed. The Overlord finally being taken down by Bashar, who was trying to create space and somehow limps away. Ali, though, getting slowed. He gets Imperial ordered, and that's going to be Sage's Sage, where they're going to be all on top of him. He tries to Soaring Signal away, but he too will fall, and that's a shutdown going the way of John.
Bashar actually actually managed to use the secondary blessing just now, trying to find at least one casualty, but it didn't happen. And we also know that Ibrahim is nearby. Is he gonna fall in?
Yeah, looks like Sage's Sanctuary is going to be pop for him. Arusha, the Umbrella Outburst, is now on top, but he's outside of the Blazing Brilliance. The Wind Slash on top of Nisanda, who's continuing to fight. I don't think he got the memo to retreat, and he finally does.
Wow, what a game. I know you haven't finished yet, Holler, but what a game. 1,000 gold difference, and actually Syria is leading the economy, and they're gonna try to get the Tyrant before Tempest spawns, but it's gonna despawn in 5 seconds. Can they do it?
Yeah, I think yes, Darusha with a smite just to ensure that he gets it. He's been on point with these big neutrals.
True, Shadow Tyrant has been sent to top lane though, so it seems like Janith are tasked to clear this wave as soon as they can, because they have to try to get the Tempest as soon as possible, but we have to remember, Syria does have the primal bond, so they cannot start the Tempest as soon as it spawns.
Yeah, they're going to have to wait a little bit on this one. But at the same time, they can contest. It's going to be a little bit more janky in that sense. So it's not the best case scenario for them, but Syria, man, finding ways to come back into this one.
And we do know Atta has his power spike actually plateau and goes down, but look at this Blazing Brilliance, Holler.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just he's gonna be not liking that one. Burnt like a little rotisserie chicken, if you will. But he's gonna shake that one off. I think he will be fine. But again, if the Tempest Dragon is up, we finally hit a late game.
That's true. That's true. Tarusha again plateauing with his damage, but look at this channel. Is he gonna go down? No, not yet.
Oh, on the side, the Umbrella Outburst only catching on to one though. Can they get more? The Raging Sea used to return. Amaka doing a little bit of work, but Abdulaziz, he's gonna be picked off. They've gotten Amar frozen in. He's gonna unruly blade on back. The Stampede is gonna be on point. They find Sage's Sanctuary. Amaka is gonna be picked off. They finally find him. Bashar looking to do some work, finding Darusha. Does he have enough? He's actually out sustaining this one somehow, some way, but Anjana finally gets shut down as well. Bashar now turning this up. He's got the Blood Rage, the Storm Strike on top. They have the control. He dashes away, and again, Bashar surviving.
And Tarusha actually managed to recover a lot of chunk of his HP back up just with that one skill. That shows on how dangerous Atta can be without the proper itemization, such as Blazing Cape or Mortal Punisher or Venomous Staff. But it seems like Nisandra is gonna try to start this objective as soon as they can, but they do have to be aware of their top lane.
They were trying to, I mean, Nisanda started this one off the solo. Ibrahim is definitely making his way there. They've got vision of this. The Storm Strike on. Do they have enough time to burn this down? Syria just making a mad dash for it, but on the side, Amar is going to be there. The Tempest Dragon is so low. Who's going to take this one down? With the Blazing Brilliance, Abdulaziz somehow steals it from underneath, and Nisanda is going to be taken away. A crucial kill theft, and Nisanda is so low. The Chaos Cinder is on. He goes to the Storm Strike turn. He's looking to turn, but the reinforcements have arrived. Syria are there, and they're looking to march it down the mid lane.
Abdulaziz with that amazing steal. They're going to try to force the tier 3 tower. Blazing Brilliance has been used, and Anjana has been struck down, Holler.
Yeah, they've gotten him, but Hamaka with the Raging Sea onto 3, but he's going to be taken down. Abdulaziz with the triple strike. They've opened it up. They've got the Wind Slash, and they will take game number 1.
What a strike before destroying the crystal. What an achievement from Syria. And we do know this shows that discipline and commitment in defending and trying to wait for the right moment for the jump phase ulti is important.
That is correct. This was a 20-minute game back and forth between Syria and Sri Lanka here. We saw the early game, fantastic stuff coming in from Sri Lanka, trying to use the funnel strategy. Mid lane roamer item with the jungle utilizing all the available gold on the Atta, making sure that this Atta was a beefy boy. But in towards the late game, that's where Bashar and also the channel started coming up as late game threats. And in the final few moments, Abdulaziz on that Angela stole away that Tempest Dragon and got a Quadra Strike of all things to end the game for Syria.
What an amazing game, right? To set things up, and that was exactly how you wanted to do it. Like that, just being able to find that moment. And it's in the last stages where you're just able to get the steal, as you rightly pointed out, Zaki, and to kind of get that triple to quadra, like everything that you wanted to end this game. That was perfectly played by them.
Yeah, and I actually saw Amar with the Unruly Blade. He actually used it behind the Tempest instead of going towards the Tempest. I was actually quite worried.
Yeah.
Because he's the only guy who's holding Smite.
Exactly, yeah.
But then somehow Abdul Aziz, with the skill set that he used, he managed to steal the Tempest. I was shocked.
I think it's the full burst damage potential coming in from the Angel, like Chaos Cinders into the Blazing Brilliance, and then it caused the damage to be running down really quickly on the Tempest Dragon. And if you're on the smiting side, on the Ata, you're being like, oh, wait, that's gonna be a pretty difficult smite to land because the damage numbers is just boiling down really quickly here. But props to Syria's mid lane Abdul Aziz. That was such a crucial steal. The game was neck and neck tied at the 22-minute mark, but that steal really nailed the game down for this game one.
Yeah, and it's like right when they needed a hero, Abdulaziz shows up. Right at that moment, and the way that he was able to do it, it couldn't have been better as they go into this one. But what a great game one here.
I agree, and the fact that Sri Lanka was actually holding 2 smites and they lost it must have hurt just a little bit more. But look at this, the itemization coming from Syria. They actually have one Blazing Cape from Amar to stop Atta's aggression, and venomous stuff from Abdul Aziz definitely, and it actually helped quite a lot. Blazing Cape also from Ibrahim.
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense, right? As we see towards Sri Lanka's side, it's actually a well-planned out early game from them. Janif went for the Knowledge Gem start. So, Knowledge Gem and Jungle Item, when they're both present, whoever last hits gets the full gold. So that's how you funnel gold into Tarusha. That's why Tarusha was being such a menace in the first 15 minutes of the game, being supremely tanky, getting all these big teamfight wins for Sri Lanka here. But when the game scales into late game, it goes back to the draft discussion we had just now. Syria's Chano and Afati, these are ultra late game characters that actually carries you post 15 minutes here. When they went to 15 minutes and still had the goal advantage towards their side, it was entirely Syria's game to win.
Let's go back to Tarusha there, because you rightly pointed out that he had a great early game. He had a really good mid-game as well. But where did the wheels fall off? Like, why did this team that was having such a great time, why did they all of a sudden just get crumbled by, Syria?
Draft. Because if you were to look to the hero selection coming in from Sri Lanka, Byron, early to mid-game. Ata, early to mid-game. Zoyu went for the Knowledge Gem start and is a sole late early game hero. And Direnje is not the best marksman to be scaling into the late game comparing to Chano, one of the best late game farmers we have in the Asian Games version. As you can compare towards the damage chart, we see Anjana doing 211,000 damage, while Ali, he was doing 226,000 here, and both mid lanes are also battling up for the damage room here in this game one.
So the way we classify farm lanes, like which one is early game based hero, which one is more late game, is usually based on their itemization, right? Whoever uses items like critical Eternity Blade, like Shadow Reaper, they are leaning more towards the late game compared to Direnji. It's more towards tank hitter. It focuses more on Doomsday and Sparkforge.
Oh, it is a very easy, I would say, comparison that you mentioned just now. Is on your itemization. Those who go Sparkforge, Doomsday, Daybreaker, those are more of a early to mid game marksman build. And if you go the traditional critical, which is the Shadow Ripper Eternity into the Daybreaker, is more of a late game build, which is exactly the situation for both the DNJ and both the Chano in this case. As you can see in this gold graph, Sri Lanka was leading a comfortable probably 2,000 to 3,000 gold lead until the 15-minute mark, where they suffered a huge team fight loss, which let the entire game go to a later stage up until the point where Abdul Aziz on the Angela, and then we have the Chano, and then we have the Fatih, all skill into the late game, which allowed for that late game win for Syria.
Actually, the first curve going down was actually the first Ibrahim's rather outburst with aggression and not for defensive purposes. And I think that actually worked out for them.
Yeah, it definitely did. That was that moment, right? We were like, oh, what is he going to hold it for? But he found the right moments.
Yeah.
Ibrahim definitely hit him, gave themselves a chance. I mean, let's not second guess what he did, because he really showed up on that one at the right time and ensured that he had it. And Imaka had a great game as well. The Raging Seas were on point, really setting up the spacing for Tarusha. But just Syria, that fighting spirit, that resilience, just really got them back into this one.
Yeah, even the late game that you can see, right, where Ali got caught out in the river at the 8th-minute mark, it was looking pretty grim for Syria, as you have like 2 tier 3 towers already down. And this was the late game fight that you talk about here before the Tempest Dragon. You saw that Anjana was left untouched and he was just dishing out tokens, same as Ali as well, trading back and forth on that damage output here. As we scale into this, you can see both the clash lanes jumping into the backline to capture the squishy heroes, causing it to be a 2-for-2. And this was the inevitable late game comeback coming in from Syria that got the steal on towards Abdulaziz. This steal really nailed the game down for Syria in this game 1, getting them the lead in this series.
That blazing brilliance, Sagi. That timing,
Beautiful.
the damage, it's beautiful. There's no other words that could explain. And the cooldown on Angela is actually quite short. So this is right after the Tempest steal, and they actually managed to end the game so quickly and decisively.
Just a great game. I mean, this is exactly how you wanted to set things up, right? Not only was it like the way that you did it, you stole the Tempest Dragon, you got the quadra kill, and of course Abdulaziz is going to be your MVP, but the way that they did it, if anything, it's got to be very disheartening for Syria.
I agree.
Or sorry, Sri Lanka.
I agree. That's very disheartening. But 8, 4, and 10, and 28% damage output compared to the entire team, with actually quite a lot of damage taken, but he actually tanked the damage when he's using the Blazing Brilliance with the shield on him. It's actually quite good Angela gunplay.
Yeah, I would say so. And he's only taken not only, I think, nearly 20% gold, which is like a fair share of his cut that allows him to actually dish out so many damage in towards the late game here. Stole the Tempest, got a Quadra Strike, closed the game out cleanly, while in the early to mid game, Abdulaziz was taking like really little resource and he was funneling it more towards the Chano and the Fatih in his team.
Yeah, just a great game. I mean, this is a game where you can kind of build off of, right? That momentum, the confidence, everything that you're looking to do, especially in the Asia Games qualifier. Like, this is that moment. This is that tipping point of being like, hey, we're here, we're on stage, and we are more than ready.
If anything, I feel that maybe Team Sri Lanka is already good in early game. But also for Syria, I feel that they have to fix their early game a bit more.
Yeah.
So that they can have a snowball effect going into towards the mid game and the game, so that they don't have to suffer what they went through previously, Sagi.
I think it's more of a draft difference, right? As we were to
True.
compare just now, it's like a 20-minute draft coming in for the side of Syria, where you have so many late game monsters in the form of the Chano, the Fatih, and if you were to look over to the side of Sri Lanka, they played a really comfortable early game, but the point is, they were drafting 5 early to mid game. There was no late game insurance to actually bring them back if they do mess up in the mid game push.
I think they were watching the first 2 series where they're like, oh, they're all just early games. Let's just draft early and just like end. But they're like, oh, wait, this is the first time we went to a late game. Actually, this is our first game casting together, and I think that you brought the heat in terms of having this Tempest Dragon epic counter steal. I mean, yeah, thank you so much, Sparky.
Yeah, I know. But again,
the hype, you know, yeah, it's the hype. Like game 1, game 2, I mean match 1, match 2, it was like a stream across for Vietnam and also the second game winner, which was Nepal. Those games were relatively quick.
Yeah.
This game 3 though, match 3, man, 22-minute Tempest game, kills were neck and neck, and action was just happening across the gorge. Definitely a different, refreshing sight that we're seeing in this upcoming match 3. But let's thank our sponsor as well. All this wouldn't be available and ready without our official venue and hotel partner here, which is Petaling Jaya Marriott here. This is the official venue partner for the 2026 Asian Games Esports Qualifiers for the Honor of Kings official event. Thank you so much, Marriott Petaling Jaya, for sponsoring us.
yeah, thank you. And it's a great hotel. I love it here.
Hey man,
Yeah, it's cold and it's huge. But again, going back to our game, we do know that they are very ready for the second game right after this. We want to see the drafting. Is it going to be different? Is it going to be all early game heroes once more? Or are they going to change their tactics?
All right, you're coach of Syria, and let's go one at a time, right? Syria, if you're coach of Syria, like, what are you telling them?
I mean, you guys played a fantastic game. You guys just have to like settle down, play the team fights slower, and make sure that you don't overextend in certain team fights. Get what you need, bail out, focus on towers and objectives here. We love team fights here, but the name of the game is objectives that leads to consistent goalies instead of just brawling 5v5s. I know viewers love 5v5s, but the objective of the game is to get those constant goals that you can get from getting those tyrants, overlords, or buffs and towers.
All right, now you're the coach of the Sri Lankan side. What are you going to tell them?
Now, this is something interesting about Sri Lanka here. I like how they pre-planned out their priority on gold sharing. They gave everything to Tarusha. So to make gold sharing with the roamer item work on mid lane, you must have a roamer that's capable of taking the smite spell, which is what exactly Sri Lanka did just now on the Lapu Lapu. Yes, you do like out the extended ultimate or spell 2 charge range without the flash, But the way they do it is very simple. We funnel everything to Tarusha so he can dominate the early game here. So for me, you can repeat the same process, but make sure on the farm lane, you get something equivalent in the late game to make sure it works.
Yeah, I agree. And also, probably a little bit of mistake, I think, from Lapalapu. He did not buy roaming item.
No, I think that's why we say it's like
That's a
the different
plan.
strategy, because mid lane
Yeah.
already bought the roaming items, so you need a jungle item to cancel it out. If you have two roaming
true.
items, it doesn't work out in
Oh
early
yeah, that's
game.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. Because they want to make sure you is the one who's gonna be roaming around a lot and try to zone the enemy out with his fires. And yeah, we're gonna see again another Zhang Fei as the first pick from Syria. Clearly, they're very comfortable with it, Sagi. And having Chano now in the hands of Sri Lanka, it's gonna be a little bit different for their late game.
Oh yeah, I would say it's like they're flipping the script right now, where Sri Lanka is like, okay, we understand what we made a mistake on, and I gotta say, is this the exact same flip of a script coming in for both teams? But yeah, Syria is still defaulting back towards Bashar on that fight, but they're like taking away the Zhang Fei and Ata away from Sri Lanka's draft.
This is the ultimate flex.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you lost with this? These two heroes are amazing. How can you lose to them? We'll show you how to play.
how to do it.
Yeah, but it was amazing, right? We can see on how Ata actually managed to like recover a lot of HP just now. It all depends on execution now, and I do hope that Syria has a very good late game hero to back up this Ata and Zhang Fei after this, because Ata's not going to be able to do too well going up in the mid game towards late game, 14 minutes and above.
Yeah, that's the problem about the Ata here. We all love the Ata, a frontline that is able to squeeze out positioning for the team's late game carry, like potentially on Ali or up to Alsis later on.
Yeah.
So for Syria, the last two picks are really important here to actually finalize out the draft. As you can see, Sri Lanka, you have the Wolfpack coming in from the Anjana's Chano here, so you want to ban out the Heino here, because more units on Heino, those are free stacks coming out from his scepter.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, but one thing we've seen Baichi for first time, right? It's going to be picked up here by the Sri Lankan side. It's more kind of to deal with. I mean, you have the ghost ship. You could potentially pull somebody through it. You can kind of, have a little bit more control, because it's all about the team fight if you're looking on the Syria side.
And from what I know, a hero that is almost the same as Ata, that is HP scaling based hero, is Baichi. And Baichi is actually a good counter towards Ata too. So that means both sides of the team really needs itemizations like Doomsday or Mass of Agony to really cut down that HP by percentage.
Yeah, I think that's definitely like the #1 item that Mage should buy coming in from Syria and also Sri Lanka here. Because Venomous Staff has one of the best stats in the magical equipment tab. You have like
Так, ребят, sorry.
130 magical attacks,
Sorry, ребят.
7.5 movement speed, 7.5% cooldown reduction, everything you need on a Mage. And adding on a Dun coming from Sri Lanka, you best believe that Syria's Abdulaziz will buy that Venomous Staff.
That's true.
Just have a lot of tank, right? I think that when you have a Baichi and a Dune, they're just saying, okay, come fight at me. We have the Angela and the Chano who are going to be very well protected in that sense. But I think a little bit more control, a little bit more ways to kind of, maybe a little bit more burst damage on the Sri Lankan side really rounds out this one.
I agree, and it seems like between Sri Lanka and Syria, there's a pattern between the two teams. Both of them actually really prefers to play much more.
Ребят, ну это
defensive
типа
side,
доты.
and
Типа доты, но это не
sometimes we see
доты,
other teams
короче.
that
Вот.
really prefers to play a lot more with assassins, but not this one. They really prefer a lot of defensive mechanism from both sides.
I am loving the ladies pick coming in from Syria. If there's something that really
Ребят, ну мы смотрим
it's definitely the ladies,
Honor
especially
of
with
Kings,
Ladies Zone.
мобилку.
One of those heroes that doesn't need
Турнир по
to
мобилке.
work and
Это
pour the resource into
азиатские игры, если что. У нас тут уже играют Сирия плюс Шри-Ланки, если что. Здорово, ребят, всем. Я тут не играю ни за кого, ребят, просто комментируем турнир. Вот и смотрим, если что.
And also you see the Janeth, the Angela, right? It's going to be very static, very immobile in that sense. Hitting that perfect stun on top is just going to be very easy and to kind of set things up. So they played it themselves. They know what is good and bad about the Angela, and you have a bit of a counter here.
Wow, Zhuangzi as a hero to stop all the crowd control coming in from Syria is gonna be a very good game for sure, but a lot of tanks coming from Sri Lanka definitely. And from what I see, I think that from Team Syria, they do not have any physical long-range hero, except maybe if Erin buys physical items.
I think the item build coming in from the Syria's farm lane, Ali.
Так, что у нас тут? Ну, показывают нам героев, да? показывают нам героев, какие есть. Тебе денег дали, чтобы ты смотрел без негатива. Ну, бро, тут турнир, типа, изначально, типа, только так я и мог смотреть, да. Типа, добили гириент. Да, но это больше, видишь, типа, на телефон игра, бро. Типа, сравнивать некорректно, типа, ну это просто как моба. В телефонах они играют. Вот это, кстати, интересно, да, понравится. Тут интересно, кстати, узнать. Даблмид пошли, кстати, челы стоять. Нифига себе, тут втроем пошли фармить. Кстати, пошел на другую линию. Нифига. Пока Шри-Ланка хорошо на самом деле начала. По ощущениям. Я думал, Шри-Ланка вообще играть не умеет. Бодро стартанули.
Pause a bit instead of stacking things right away, right? So you kind of need to time everything properly. Not going to be the easiest of team fights, but a little bit of a three-man stun there, and it looks like Sri Lanka are going to just kind of walk away.
True, and they cannot do this chain CC anymore. But knowing that they have Nisanda,
так, ну пока Сирия 1-0 ведут, я так понимаю, да? Над общим счетом.
If this game goes all the way towards Tempest again, it's gonna be a lot of defensive plays unless they really want to force something out with Amar gonna go into the jungle.
Вот это контент. Ну да.
If you're thinking kind of like a reversal of game one, but still with the Ata doing a very aggressive, kind of controlling the game, is this lineup really set up for success?
Wild Rift круче этой игры, вот это просто фри-версия. Хз. Wild Rift. Не выглядит неплохо на самом деле. Очень хорошо выглядит игра. Бодренько. Очень активная.
Like the Sri Lankan fans or the Sri Lanka team here?
The team here.
Okay. Let's be very specific.
They're supposed to dive there. I was imagining them diving in, and you're gonna start shouting and all that. Here we go.
And here we go. The unruly play. Tarusha is gonna be back. He's gonna get back to safety. He will be fine. Again, it's all about the junglers to start things off. I think that you saw even in the last one, Tarusha got the better of Amar. Really set the tone of the game. Unfortunately, weren't able to close it out.
And it seems like this dangerous have to force the unruly blade to safety, and they're not gonna try to steal it right now. But Tarusha losing his.
Ну, так это больше на лигу похоже, а не на доту. Ну, бро, очевидно, типа, сравнивать. Мне кажется, тут не нужно с дотой. Это вообще жанр моба, типа, но при этом там мобилка.
Playing a little bit safer. Sri Lanka, this is one where, you know, going back to game one, they were kind of behind in the beginning. I mean, or sorry, they were up in that one. So they're playing to their strengths of the laning phase. They do well of just kind of setting themselves up for success.
Yeah, we have this Anjana really trying to pressure Ali a lot. And we have seen his gameplay with Direnji before, and Anjana is really aggressive during the war, and I feel like they have to focus on
прям тут, не знаю, зарубы невероятные.
Ali and Anjana, like those are the two guys, right? When those team fights are happening mid to late game, basically if they die, I mean, you're going to be in a word like a terrible spot.
Ну нифига себе, начинают уже бить нас сразу. Это босса общего. Обе команды, кстати, заагрили ее зачем-то, но прям Талова бить никто не хочет, потому что, ну, все-таки ласхит пойдет на одной команде, в итоге выходит у нас тут. Сирия, в итоге Сирия забирает нас. У нас получается за Resident.
Smart coming from Amar. He actually used his first skill just to jump around, evading the blazing brilliance, and simply smite. And no one is there to try to disturb him, to stun him, and stopping him from using his smite. And it seems like it's very easy still. I feel like they should keep on with this because they do have this advantage coming from Atta.
Huge advantage. I think that, you know, you want to kind of set things up. You want to get the wheels motioning towards success for you, right? At the same time, I mean, Sri Lanka here still net worth 6 to nothing. I think that both of these two teams like evenly matched at the end of the day.
True, and I see that WLZ actually just bought Venomous Stuff. The best mid laners in the world, Holler, actually buys Venomous Stuff as the first item, regardless of what the enemy team is using. And I think this is the best thing to do.
Да, тут у нас показывают уже разницу в голде. По голде, кстати, ну, не такой большой перевес-то оказывается. Игра, я бы сказал, даже более-менее равная.
Especially early, right? I mean, the amount of sustain that they can have, it negates almost everything, which is going to be great. And to really set yourself up, because again, you know, it's about these like minor or the milestones of hitting some of these items that really change the team fights.
Yeah, let's see a bit of a goal difference here. It seems like Dune from Tarusha. Oh, Anjana actually went down in top lane, Holler.
Yeah, it looks like Anjana and Ali both like trading away on this one. The Overlord being picked up by Sri Lanka, so they're getting another good start to their game. Great for them.
Yeah, and we know that they're going to try to destroy the bottom tower first. Rotation is being done by Sri Lanka. Smart from them to rotate together, trying to make sure that they don't get caught. But it seems like they're trying to force Ibrahim to use his unbridled outburst, and Malka still have the butterfly effect in his pocket, and he's not going to use it for now.
Yeah, no need to use it. I mean, no need to panic. I think Ibrahim is.
Тут за 6 минут, мне кажется, тут очень мало активности, да, если сравнивать с предыдущими играми. Кстати, Гарпия похожа очень сильно на Гарпию из Доты со смолкимпа. Ну ладно. Так, у нас уже пошел тут Башар. Сломал тавер. По ходу первый тавер в игре упал. О, нифига. Очень красивая стенка у нас. Кто-то из Шри-Ланки посадил. Ну, Шри-Ланка дефается на самом деле. Не сказать, что не прям АФК, типа, отдают, типа, героев. Просто дефаются, неплохо дефаются. Дефаются.
Region is rooting for you, but they're trying to capture Atta. Amar is still half HP.
Oh, the taunt. Amar has been locked in. They're sending everything at him. They've got the pullback as well, but Amar is actually out-tanking all of this one. And now Ibrahim, he's the lower end, but Sri Lanka just kind of not able to...
Да, мне нравится, на самом деле, тимфайты. Они такие очень динамичные. Мне нравятся тимфайты в этой игре. Главное, чтобы они не были бесконечными и бессмысленными. Тут вроде драки такие быстрые. Непонятно, кто ведет. Есть шанс, конечно, что камбэк.
Trying to give him a lot of space to destroy towers by towers in the top lane.
Yeah, not scared whatsoever. And Ibrahim just leaving Savior away. This bottom T1 was under assault, but Nisana's there. He's a tough out. He's going to protect that, you know, that bottom T1 for quite a time. It's going to be tough to kind of just crack into that one.
So they're trying to get the Azure Golem for now. It's just Ibrahim opening the map, providing vision to his entire team, which also in turn provides safety for his entire team. But it seems like Amar really wants to have one war at least, but the disengagement that has been consistently done by Sri Lanka has been quite successful every single time.
Yeah, he's like egging him on. He's like, come at me, bro. Trying to like get a little bit of a response, but
это Шри-Ланка? Да. Шри-Ланка. Лучше доты мобу никто не сделал. Ну да, есть такое. Мне тоже нравится про дота сама по себе. Вот что прям Сирия прям давит на самом деле. Агрессивно товара этот пушить. Они только дерутся ваши. Вообще компов не фармят. Ну тут не сказать, что они прям заметно, знаешь, да. Тут они после вот этих вот фармов, они собирают еще вместе по одной линии и там еще начинают бить.
We're still waiting for the lane waves to be used in a massive way that we're assuming Sri Lanka is going to need that one moment to make sure that they manage to capture the entire team of Syria. but he still have
В
to
любом
focus
случае,
on
ладно,
Bashar
смотрим.
all the time, because Bashar is always up in the top lane, and no one else can handle him.
Вроде типа не фидят, что там. Вот сейчас начинает у нас уже все выходить у нас. Амар у нас тут выходит. Я думал, ты наш Амар. АТФ. Другой.
Disengagement after disengagement, but look at Bashar. He's in a very precarious position, and we can see on how the Sanda is trying to get some damage, but he's losing a lot of his HP. He's losing his passive too.
Yeah, the unruly blade on away. Tharusha just, you know, being that frontliner. This is exactly what you want. You want to constantly be focused. Everybody just targeting you. Maybe then that's enough space for Anjana and Janeth to clean up. They haven't been able to do that yet, but the thought is there.
And it seems like no doomsday coming from Fatih yet for now, and Ibrahim is still providing vision for his team.
Ребят, я не знаю, что это такое, ребят, сам. Не знаю, я закрываю глаза. И... А, кстати, подождите, 1-1 реально счет. Подождите. Не, нет, не 1-1. Это, это просто общий счет в игре. Понимаю. Правильно. Походу, да. Такие вот игры, как это или лол, они юзер-френдли, типа начали их вряд ли играть, но то более сложный механик дофига всяких. Ну да, в целом. Именно то, что юзер-френдли. Это вот интересно выражение, первый раз такое слышу. Есть такое ощущение, будто бы я вот смотрю сейчас 12 минут, и у них уже лейт начался, будто бы. Вот уже лейт начинается. Уже все. Уже лейт. Шри-Ланка перехватили ситуацию у нас тут в игре. Так, вот нас пытались за Башара убить, не получилось.
Abraham, even if he gets the perfect angle with the umbrella outburst, you just kind of negate all of that because you got a Mog on that.
I agree, and Amakal is so ready to use his ultimate. I believe that the butterfly effect is just being kept just for Ibrahim, and it's gonna be quite annoying for Ibrahim for sure. But again, they still have to make sure that the butterfly effect is used somehow, so he still have to use it anyway. But it's very interesting to see on how he's using how.
Было бы интересно понаблюдать, если бы тут у нас Сирия сейчас 2-0 закрыла бы, и next матч уже посмотреть. Вот как-то хорошая на самом деле. Но я думаю, тут забирает Сирия 2-0. Они слишком... Они по макро будто бы увереннее выглядят. На самом деле они по карте лучше муваются и агрессивнее выходы делают. Шри-Ланка вообще не тут. Лейт они только одну вышку в миде открыли. Ну, бро, ну... На самом деле они шли два мид бить, если что, у нас Шри-Ланка до этого, когда я говорил про лейт. В любом случае, мне кажется, уже лейт начался. Лейт количество студентов вышек, что ли, начинается, бро? Лейт может начаться со всеми вышками, если что.
Ibrahim still trying to collect the madness. Can they destroy the tower? It seems like it's a little bit late for them to defend the tier 3 tower. Look at Ali very aggressively destroying the first tier 3 tower finally for Syria.
It's about objectives. It's not about kills. It's not about, you know, getting those eliminations that you really want. It's more about just playing the game, playing the map. What was happening in the mid lane? It was all just a little bit of a bait. Nobody was really looking to fight. They just wanted to create space to take that bottom team.
I agree, and it seems like they're going to try to steal this Azure Crimson Golem. No problem for Amar with that smite. And we do know that Atta has consistent CC immunity every time he uses his first skill, especially if he has Glacial Buckler with that 20% cooldown reduction if he buys one. And we do know that they're going to try to get this Azure Golem one more time. And Bashar still being annoying, trying to clear the side lane, maintaining pressure so that his team can go to the top lane freely, Holler.
Yeah, and Bashar, he was trying to just steal that one from under their noses. But like when you saw that Tharusha that was there, you're like, oh man, he's got smite, no chance. But the Stampede is going to be on point.
Тут видите, тут Сирия более агрессивно на самом деле на ХГ давит. Более сплоченно как-то играют. Шри-Ланка вроде в моменте вроде бы что-то имели, но в итоге просто дефаются на базе. Не получается у них.
commitment. But then again, they managed to destroy the tower here.
Как же Челор на телефон держит на весу? Тупо хомяка играет. Наверное, тебе так кажется. Да, бро, они играют на телефонах, если что, на телефонах. Как же они легко их просто на ХГ. 4 убил, последний остался, и последнего убили, но тут 2-0. Тут 2-0, ливайте, ребят, ливайте. Ливайте. Сирия, let's go. Им по регламенту обязательно нужно на смартфоне катать. Типа, допустим, если на планшете захочется играть. Мне кажется, сможешь сыграть на планшете. На планшете просто неудобно играть. По ощущениям. Он экран же шире, ты больше действий должен делать. Там же вроде есть регламент разрешенных всяких устройств. А на турнирах вроде планшеты вроде бы не запрещают. Не уверен. На компе играть ее, ребят, через телефон, ребят, через телефон.
It's so hard to come back from a game one where you go the distance, things that are looking so good for you, like Tharusha is just completely dominating, and then having that, you know, the Tempest Dragon stolen from you, and they just clean up, right? That takes a lot of resilience, and the team needs experience to kind of overcome something like that to bounce back in a game.
But it also seems like Syria is really depending on this Zhangfei meta. They're really using it right now, and I think that they really can make good use of the Zhangfei, and they do pick it every time as the first pick. I think the teams going up against them after this need to get the hero out.
I think it's not only a team that's going up against them, I think it's the tournament setting as a whole, where Zhangfei, Lapu Lapu, these are amazing roamers that you can always go on the blue or red side as a checkmark pick, where like say, okay, we have nothing to pick.
Сирия есть, Афганистан есть, но надо посмотреть на самом деле. Да, ребят, сейчас, секунду.
And also engage for the team, that's a very rewarding playstyle that doesn't put your flashlight into a much more peculiar role that they always need to be tank, they can't be this late game carry.
Надо им на Ликвипедии открыть, на Ликвипедии посмотреть.
Or late game mid lane, for example.
Yeah, a lot of flexibility.
Yeah,
and I think that you need more flexibility in the core roles as opposed to the roam, and it's the old tried and true, right? I hate to say it because, you know, Cloud likes this hero, but Zhangfei is just an absolute menace in the roam. It's so tough to deal with, especially when you're seeing
много стран, бро. Узбекистан, Филиппины, Пакистан, Индонезия, Монголия, Непал, Киргизстан, ой, Мьянма даже есть, офигеть. Иордания, Вьетнам.
A lot more crowd control from their own side. And we gotta give props towards Syria, right? The gameplay coming in from Abdulaziz has been really consistent.
Афганистан нету, брат.
The ladies and the Angela from Game 1 who
It's
stole
Pakistan.
the Dragon and the Quadra Strike. The man's on fire, man. You gotta give him props towards it. And then you can see Ali as well on the Aaron in Game 2. He was consistent in tearing down those towers, was saving a safe enough distance to make sure that he doesn't get hit by all the engages coming in from Baichi or the jungler coming in from the side of Sri Lanka here. So you gotta give him props. These players are playing a consistent game. Yes, we don't get a lot of kills, but at the very least, we get a lot of the objectives being traded around. But this time around, Syria is on the offensive end.
And that was how they pulled it off, right? I mean, you know, when your team has enough time and space to really get to that level where you're able to close things out. Things are very close. You're like thinking, oh, who actually has the lead? And we'll see the gold graph to kind of, you know, solidify what I'm just saying with it, with evidence. But I mean, Abdulaziz, like those 2 kills, that double was the moment they won this game.
Yeah, that's true. And also, Ali's itemization with the area in the question that I had earlier, he actually buys Sparkforce Dagger, Doomsday, and Void Staff, and Tempest to make sure that he has a lot of magical damage from the ultimate, and also a very quick basic attack to charge up the Laurel Bloom. And it seems like it works very well for him. And also, again, like what Sagi said just now, I agree that he keeps a safe distance and also destroying all the towers down, which is ultimately the most important thing about this game.
Correct. When you get structural damage, yes, when you take down an enemy, they can still respawn from the fountain.
Yes.
But when towers are down, those are non-negotiables. It's down means it's down. It's not going to come back whatsoever here. But you can see in this game itself, right, we got to give props to one more person here. The hidden hero coming in from Syria, Ibrahim. Because The reason why that Abdul Aziz was able to get that double kill later on in the replay that we may see is because he found a perfect moment that Amalka was away in towards the side lane when Anjana and Janif was defending that mid tower. He found that moment immediately.
Смотрим, ребят. У Казахстана нормальная команда по этой игре, когда они играют против кого? Они завтра будут играть против... Бро, мы там смотрели только что. Блин, на самом деле не сказать, что у нас там жесткий состав. Против Индонезии вроде бы. А, нет, против Вьетнама будем завтра играть. Это типа Олимпийские игры. Вот, это Олимпийские игры, мы будем играть против Вьетнама завтра. Посмотреть, вот тут вот. Получается... А, против Индонезии, да, будем играть? А, Индии. Против Индии будем играть, бро. Завтра в 3 часа, короче, дня, по нашему времени, ну это через 20, сколько, через 26 часов, получается, матч будет. Ну, я думаю, он раньше начнется, потому что follow by, как игры заканчиваются, сразу и матчи начинаются. Вот, насчет состава, там у нас прям звезд нету, там даже один дотер, если я не ошибаюсь, один дотер будет играть. Он в качестве тренера вроде бы или нет? Ханзи там вроде, Ханзи... Потому что я помню, что его анонсили на этот турнир. А ты сам немного катал, чисто как не бро, я вообще в нее не играл, то есть я вот для ознакомления, то есть мы попросили, я с кайфом согласился, почему бы и нет. Вот, в целом опыт уже у меня был, но я другую мобилку типа комментировал и играл. В целом они похожи. А, ну Индию раскатаем за 15 минут? Наверное. А прикиньте, я сутки не спал, я сижу, смотрю турнир групповой стадии по Honor of Kings. Но для меня это мне нравится, реально. Мне нравится. Вот я просто в моменте уснул, короче, наверное, 10, я когда вебку офнул, даже на минут 20, наверное, я уснул без шуток. Я просто, из-за того, что реклама была. Я из-за рекламы просто уснул, блин, на стриме. Но я сейчас проснулся обратно, если что. Типа, потому что матч пошел. Нормально, да, ребят? Делаем, ребят, жестко делаем. Как раз режим фиксируем нормально.
That's where the goal immediately expanded to a 4,000 goal, which led to Syria able to win in one swoop fashion here. Let's check out the highlights real quick on what exactly went down here. So this is the unbridled uppers that we talk about here. You can see the Zhuangzi nowhere to be seen in this side, and the butterfly effect coming in from Malka was tragically a bit too slow, leaving into a 5v3 where there's like a big cannon coming in from Ali that's so strong already.
Что за игра? Бро, это ну как реклама, но и как бы, ну, одновременно просто смотрим сам турнир, брат. Вот. Типа вообще, мне сказали, что сегодня Казахстан будет играть, но там, видимо, перепутали Казахстан с Кыргызстаном или что, я не знаю. Короче, сегодня у нас играет... Сыграл уже Киргизстан, 2-0 он отлетел от Непала. А, подожди, от Непала, да, отлетел 2-0 у нас Киргизстан. Вот, сейчас у нас играла Шри-Ланка против Сирии. Шри-Ланка у нас 0-2 тоже отлетает. Вот, и у нас сегодня, получается, последний матч будет, да, или что? По идее, последний матч сегодня у нас будет. У нас сейчас будет, вот, Монголия будет против Индонезии. А, нет, еще 2 матча у нас. Филиппины и Пакистан еще будут играться. Вот. Это азиатские страны за доту в мобилке. Ну, я не спорю, на самом деле, бро. Я не спорю. Они слишком много играют в мобилке, потому что, ну, чё. Один из самых доступнейших видов спорта. Я помню, мне кто-то в школе, либо когда-то на стриме года 4-5 назад писали, что, эх, вот скоро, там, лет через 5, мобильные игры, они, типа... Вот так вот просто сделают игры компьютерные. То есть они просто их... Ну, понимаете, да? Может, я не знаю, то ли я на стриме это говорил или нельзя. Кто-то говорил то, что мобильные игры, они превзойдут, типа, ну, по хайпу компьютерные игры. Мне кажется, навряд ли такое произойдет. Мне кажется, из-за PUBG такое говорили, из-за вот ажиотажа PUBG Mobile. В целом, я не думаю, что это произойдет, потому что немножко два разных вселенных. Ну, по итогу комп всех переживет. Но на дистанции, да. На дистанции очевидно, да. Это классика. Да, я вот смотрю, ничего, никто из моих знакомых на мобилке не играет. Я вот обычно иду, если во дворе, на парковке вижу припаркованную машину, там два типа сидят PUBG играют с телефона. Я много видел, кто именно PUBG играет, а вот другие игры я редко вижу. Иногда бывает, что я там вижу, как люди мобилку играют, какую-то по типу Mobile Legends, либо Honor of Kings тоже. Интересно. Максимум там Subway Surfer среди дурака. Наверное. Спонсорит стрим? Да, бро, это спонсируемый стрим игрой Honor of Kings. Да, брат. Спонсорит стрим.
That to me, I think is the most.
Yeah, today the MVPs has been really favored towards the mid lane.
MVPs.
Vietnam and also just now from Team Syria here. So we would like to hear from the winners interview with Mara and also the representative coming in from Team Syria on the stage right now. So Mara, it's your time to shine.
What a spectacular game from Team Syria, giving us
spectacular
the longest game
games.
so far of the day. Congratulations. We're gonna go back.
Thank you so much.
We're gonna go back to game number 1 because you guys had a lot of burst damage across multiple roles. Your mage, your clash, your farm. Now, what was the key into coordinating the engages and making sure that those damages translated into
Ну,
successful
хотя,
team
блин,
fights, just like
такие
they did?
олимпийские игры, да, получается, азиатские игры.
Азиатские
Азиатские олимпийские игры, да. Комментирует ведущая. Футболку учила прикольно. Ты про этого или про комментатора? Ну, это вот такая дефолтная, это, видимо. Он так его этот прижал за руку микрофон ему. У игрока. Ну, вот именно вот этот принт прикольный на вышивок, да? Ну, где вот, как это называется? На манжетах, да? Принт прикольный. Футболка сама так, принт мне тоже реально прикольный, что я даже не всматривался. Выглядит неплохо. Может, на Филиппинках они все хорошо английский знают. Кстати, да, у них же официальный язык в стране, у них же, ну, типа, английский язык, они же как на родном на нем шпилят. Так что я думаю, да, либо Филиппины, либо где-нибудь Индонезия, либо Малайзия, да, какая-нибудь. Бахчизская игра. Игра называется Honor of Kings. Да, принт прикольный, на самом деле, необычный. Даже имена европейские у всех. Король Филипп постарался в свое время. Хороший король Филипп. Ребят, кстати, у него на основных след какой-то. А чего это аж след, интересно? Что он там делал? Ладно, давайте без этого, без подробностей. Без подробностей, естественно. Это как с Джудахом, знаете, да? К Джудаху курьер приходил, а Джудах в трусах курьеру дверь открыл, а курьер его то ли сфоткал, то ли чё. А вот у Джудаха там в трусах, короче, белый след был какой-то. И он прям на стриме это сидит, рассказывает. Ладно. Дота не, пацаны, не будет доты. Я уже сегодня наигрался в доту. Сегодня 6 или 7 часов доту стримил. Сейчас мне еще турик этот стримить. Я еще до турика там еще доту сидел, играл. Типа, ну, пару часовых игр. Так что, ребят, сегодня у меня еще день супер насыщенный. Я, наверное, часов 12 буду спать после этого. И факт, конечно. Watch out.
Thank you, Mara, for the heartwarming interview. I
Marriott.
would say our players, out of all the regions so far, all players has been really nice and very calm with their interview and very expressive of their gratitude, right?
Yeah.
And you can see from their confidence, right? It's like they're slowly building it. That's why we keep mentioning you gotta start on the right foot. If you start on the correct
Да,
one,
хорошее
you put
интервью у
yourself
нас тут.
into a situation that you can actually bring it
Видно, что у нас
into endgame tree. We're saying,
интервью
okay, we're testing them
подобрали.
at game number one.
Тренера, видимо, или кто это был. Непонятно, кто это был. Ой, блин, что я закрыл. Так, вот, подождите. У нас сейчас получается... Да, Индонезия, Монголия. Смотрим, смотрим, ребят.
I don't know if they're familiar enough with one another to start trash talking. I want to get to that level, but I know that we gotta
Slow down.
be stiff, right?
Slow down.
Slow down.
I want to be there now.
He wants to get to the cream immediately, but I think that, yeah, I agree. He really remembers about his fans at home, and that's all that matters to him, and also everyone in this match.
But that was another 2-0 coming in for the Syria versus the Sri Lanka match. But we also have another hot match coming up for the next group. It will be Group A's Indonesia going up against Mongolia.
Indonesia.
Coming match. If you're a fan of
Против
HOK,
Монголии.
Indonesia's team lineup is definitely what you will be always looking, always coming out from international experiences. So for Mongolia, it's definitely a true challenge for them in this upcoming match. So it's definitely going to be another hot one.
Четко у меня у владельцев мобилок игр, у них денег немало, они турики качественно устраивают, и комментаторы там четкие. Ну, объективно, конечно, в плане продакшена, мне кажется, даже если с той же дотой сравнивать, над которой вообще, да, не потеют сами создатели игры. Я думаю, я думаю, тут они могут их конкурировать в этом плане. В плане освещения каких-то турниров, да? Единственное, что Дота сама по себе живет, видишь, а тут именно... А если говорить про мобилки, то они живут именно за счет, скажем так, вложений и вот этих вот освещения от самих создателей игры. Но в любом случае, блин, мобилки, это, знаете, это больше для... Скажем так, чтобы все под эти разделы, скажем так, подразделы задеть. Что, мне кажется, мобилки это все равно это игра классом ниже, нежели если говорить уже про компьютерные, ну типа про компьютерные игры всякие, там CS, Dota, Valorant, всякие лолы и так далее. Это игра и в плане элитности, там, да, если так в плане классовости, если говорить, то я думаю, она все равно классом ниже. Типа мобилки. Не играют менее, скажем так, заряженные типы. Странно, почему корейцы не в топе Дота, не самые жесткие почти во всех играх, что я знаю. Вот CS Дота что-то у них не пошла. В свое время, я помню, была команда Ехоу. Там вроде играли норм типочек. Просто, видимо, в Корее другие игры популярные. Намного. Какие там игры есть? Лол, я думаю, да? Да, и плюс много альтернатив есть. Вот в Корее, мне кажется, Дота просто не популярна, вот и все, бро. Мало кто играет. Прям очень мало кто играет Доту. Дота просто в сердце, в душу запала игру нам, а мобилку нужно поддерживать. Вот, ну да. В целом, это правда. Скинь ссылку, пожалуйста, на Википедию. Хочу за братьями-киргизами глянуть. Сейчас, брат, конечно. Вот тут вот. Ну, киргизы 0-2 сегодня отлетели. Но еще есть у них вариант отыграться, если что. Они только один матч проиграли. Они, по идее, с каждым должны сыграть. Я в чате скинул ссылку на этот, если что, на Википедию. О, нифига себе, герой 1 в 1, как из Доты, да? Похож очень сильно. Бомба показывает нам его. Мне кажется, что Индонезия жестко, мне кажется, размотает. Спасибо. Да, не за что, не за что. Корея Дженджи. Даже интересно, что за игра.